All right. Hello, everyone. Happy Friday. We have friends here. This is exciting.
Hi, everyone.
So, they see me and Kristan here all the time. So our lovely
And they're
friends.
bored.
Yeah, they're bored of us. They're like, y'all just have your shows at random times. You're still talking about One Piece. How are you not
Yeah.
done? Lovely friends. Will you introduce yourselves? Even though people have already seen you before.
I'll let you go first.
Okay. All right. I've been on here before. My name is Tina, but I go by White Cat Cosplay online. You can find me on TikTok, and you can also find me on Near Mint Collective.
Hi, guys. I'm Adonis, but I tried to go by Mango Online. It's just not doing well catching on. You can find me on TikTok at Mango and the Champ, and on YouTube at Mango and the Champ. Me and my buddy team up. We make cool games, cool videos about games that we're playing. We recently just uploaded a video on Pokemon Unite and how much fun we've been having on that. So yeah, check it out.
That's on my list. I only want to play it because you can put Pokemon outfits, so.
It's so much fun.
It's exciting.
That's really it. And Pokemon Snap's getting new stuff in like
Ooh.
4 days. So
I'm $30 into the gacha hole at this point, and
no.
I'm trying to take it easy because it's only.
Never mind. I can't touch that because Genshin Impact has already taken a lot of my money. Can't pick up another gacha.
It's not
I don't have the money to
too
blow,
much of a
guys.
gacha. It's kind of like it's gacha in the way that League of Legends was gacha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got you. No, I'm sorry. It was bad. It was bad.
I thought that's
Anyways,
what you were going for.
For the longest time, I thought that's where the gacha name came from. So
Gotcha.
And
Gotcha.
you know what place got your money?
what place is that, Kristan?
That's InStockTrades.com, our great sponsor. You'll keep your money. You'll keep your money because you're going to pay so much less for collected editions there. You're going to have great shipping. You're not going to deal with damaged books
But Kristan,
and cry about it.
shipping is so expensive.
Is it? Because in the United States, $50 or more, you get free shipping.
What?
Come on.
That's a deal.
We've been saying this for like 100 and I stopped counting.
Yeah,
100
we stopped counting.
episodes. Oh my god. That's longer than this arc.
wait,
I've been saying this.
it's not longer than Dressrosa
No, it's not.
as a whole.
I was just warning Kristan before the show because we have Dressrosa next, and I was like, we're gonna have to break it up. And my husband's like, stop after the Coliseum.
I think that's a solid point
Yeah.
after the bit of the reveal there.
Mhm.
And that one I'll be ready to talk about because I will be emotionally invested in a lot of things that happen. So, hello, friends. Thank you for James saying I have some candy if anyone wants some. Don't take it.
No thanks.
Hi, Mary.
Hi, Mary.
Gabby. John, you're just going to spend the money you save at IST on more books. Shh. Don't
Or you
tell.
can spend it on gacha games.
Gotcha. Yep.
What? Free shipping. When did this start?
I feel.
We do have some awesome people here tonight. And these awesome people are here to join us and talk about Punk Hazard. So that's a One Piece arc following Fishman Island. So we've left Fishman Island. We have landed in this weird place, Punk Hazard. It's an island where one side is hot, one side is cold, which we will get to. We find out why, which is a funny reason. And this is 46 chapters, and one of the few instances where it's the same amount of chapters as is episodes in the anime, which is pretty special. And this is chapters 654 to 699. So one of the shorter ones. So, Kristan, you got a bit of a break this time.
It didn't feel like it because I waited until the last minute.
Oh, okay.
That's your fault.
Well, I had things going on.
So we have some some Nakama here who have read Punk Hazard or watched Punk Hazard already. But Kristan, it's your first time. How'd you feel about this new arc?
I
The new
mean,
characters and stuff.
the candy, y'all. The candy.
What's
What
Candy
does that
Kid?
mean?
Yeah, the kids and the candy. It was real messed up.
Oh yeah, yeah. With Caesar the Clown. That was pretty dark.
Absolutely.
That was
So
pretty
for friends at home, I'll give you the not a like in-depth view, but a little quick context of this. So they land on this island where half is hot and half is cold. Again, we'll get to that. But in this island is like a laboratory built by this elusive Dr. Vegapunk, which Oda has still refused to show me. As a Frankie fan, I'm dying to meet Vegapunk, but it's fine. So Vegapunk had created some sort of like lab here with his partner / rival, Caesar Clown. Or at least Caesar thinks he's a rival. Something's happened. He's left. We know. I know where he is now, but you all at home don't know. And Caesar has continued the work there, but he's been experimenting on children by order of somebody. I can't remember if they say who it is or not, but it's one of the big baddies. So the crew's here on their way to another place, on their way to Dressrosa, and this whole arc is basically, it's a nice little reprieve from the main storyline, but it's also a big setup for the next arc. Because this is like, hey, we're going to introduce a bunch of characters to you that are going to be very important. And some that you don't think are going to be important, but definitely will, which is Caesar Clown, because you think you're done with him and you're never done with him. He just gets better. So yeah. I guess what's the best way for us to jump in talking about this? I guess we can talk about the hot part first, or we can talk about the kids. How y'all feeling?
I know that because they split up into two groups.
Yeah.
I don't remember whose perspective we follow, like, right off the bat, but basically they split up into two groups with, it's like Frankie, Chopper, Sanji, and Nami are in the cold part, right? And then Luffy, Zoro, who else? Oh, Brook, they're in the hot part. So they're just running around exploring. They meet a dragon halfway through. Well, not even halfway through. Like Luffy just fights a dragon immediately because that's the man's a force of nature,
and he's hungry.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Which is also great because that's when we get to see half of Kinemon.
Oh yeah,
who's one of my favorite characters.
I love him.
Which is great because he's just the butt of the joke, and so I'm sorry. I had made stupid jokes. If my husband was in here, he'd be making all the same puns. So I apologize.
Wasn't it just was it his feet they saw first?
Oh, because he's scattered into parts, that's right.
Yeah.
I thought it was his butt and legs all together, because it didn't save him. And his butt still talks, and then Luffy attaches it to himself as a centaur.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that's right. Because he was farting to talk.
Right.
Which was my
because
favorite.
Of course he was.
That's my type of humor, guys. So I was like, yes. I think Luffy even, from memory, asks him, like, how could you talk? Or somebody asked him, like, how can you talk? And he was like, I've trained myself.
If anyone would, it's Kinemon.
Man's determination. Yeah, definitely.
That's the spirit of Wano right there, This is dedication. No matter what he's gone through, this is what happens.
So Momo wasn't with him. Momo was with the kids, right?
Yeah. So we find Momo later, who's also hilarious, I think.
Oh, I love him. He's such a fun little dude.
But yeah, then we have the rest of our crew that pretty much, like, if they're not on the ship, like, find these children who are like various sizes. Some of them are like giant, in this like little playhouse that is being like controlled by Monet, the like winged woman, and Caesar Clown. And they're very cute kids who have a serious addiction to this deadly candy. It is very bad.
It's a very delicious candy.
Oh man, so
candy full of drugs.
Let's talk about the drugged kids, because some people, like, I know Mango's talking about how he just watched the Grand Line Review stuff. I know Grand Line Review is like, I don't care about these kids. I was like, what are you talking about?
It wasn't just me. She's trying to throw me under the bus. She did it too.
I did too. I always rewatch it before we do this show because it's a lot to remember. And I have ADHD. But he was like, I don't care about these kids. It's pointless. It's annoying. Those kids wrecked me.
I cared about those kids.
Oh, God.
I cared about every snot they had dripping. I
honestly kind of forgot about the kids up until recently because again, like it's sad, but it's pretty pointless.
Yeah, as far as the overall like story later.
I mean,
but in the middle of the arc, it is really sad to see like young children being experimented on.
But you get a little bit more of why later on with the big baddie that's financing all this. So I think it does.
absolutely.
It definitely adds to it. Like, there's a reason why. It's not just some creepy clown luring kids with candy.
Well, yeah, and Caesar's a lot of reasons too, because Caesar, like, you could say he's not the scariest villain we've had. He's
Well-
more goofy.
You have to remember, and this is what I tell people, because it's kind of like we don't see him being the big baddie, really. But you have to remember, like, he's been experimenting on people before this. Like, a lot of people have actually died by his gases, his experiments. And so we kind of come upon the island when they land and stuff with these centaur people of different animals and everything. And they're all like, oh, Caesar's so great, he saved us. Which is basically Caesar's, like, falling into goodness, but not really goodness. Like, he tricks people, but I don't see how, because you can see through his lies quite easily. But they're all like, oh, he's so good and stuff, and he's horrible. He's actually a really horrible serial
he's
killer.
not a good person.
I'd argue
No,
that
not at all.
he's a good bad guy because he's so smart, and you don't know what his ulterior, like, you do know what his ulterior motives is, but his ulterior motives have more ulterior motives to them.
That's true. I would say that he's like smart dumb. Like,
Yeah.
somehow he is very intelligent on one level, but he's pretty like inept in other areas, which makes his character so diverse. That's why I cosplay him. I love this
Real
character.
quick, that's why I have pictures ready, because one, I want to show people in the audience, this is Caesar Clown.
He's dripped out.
Oh, yeah. Now, I need to show you Tina's cosplay of Caesar Clown.
Oof, that's awesome.
Which
That's
is
not even the
Wow.
updated makeup that I do anymore.
No. I took it from your Facebook page. But
That's awesome.
Tina's #1 Caesar Clown. The best.
Definitely an underrated character.
It's such an underrated character.
Absolutely. And he's goofy and fun, but yeah, a lot of it's driven by his... He reminds me a little bit of, like the enemy in Thriller Bark. A little bit. Because you have a character that's, like...
Goofy
he's
but terrifying.
Yeah. Who has the possibility to do a lot of things, but is goofy, and because he's goofy and doesn't think through that kind of thing, he gets himself caught.
Well, I mean, that's a lot of villains in One Piece.
Yeah, but like Buggy too. But this way it's like a...
Well, Buggy's a whole nother, like, he's
Yeah.
a good guy masquerading as a bad guy.
I love
Let's
no,
just-
Buggy is the definition of failing up. There's just
yeah.
like the announcement when I remember the first time seeing that Buggy was a warlord. I was like, no,
Right?
we've achieved ultimate like satire
Well,
at this
dog
point.
Right, because I think, did he replace, like, Moria? Which
Yeah,
is
'cause-
the villain
Yeah.
in Thriller Bark.
Because at the end of Paramount War, Doflamingo arrived and was like, "Hey, Moria, I'm here to kill you," and they go from there, I think.
Yep.
And then there was
Well, Crocodile was gone too.
oh yeah, Crocodile. Who
'Cause
is
then
this?
Blackbeard
Did-
joined.
No,
That's right.
Blackbeard was already a
What
warlord.
was he already on? Who didn't? Maybe they didn't fill. Did they not fill their numbers? I don't.
I mean, there's. They said that there was 6 out of 7, and I don't know if it's a spoiler to bring up the 7th one, so I'll just Google it.
Oh yeah, now I remember. Yeah, we can't talk about it. But I've got theories. So once Kristen's caught up, then we'll talk about my whole like theory with like Moria, like what
All the,
happens.
okay. Oh, I have a lot of theories on that one, too.
Yeah,
It's because Jinbei wasn't one anymore as well.
yeah, my
I
boy.
forgot about that.
I have a lot of boys. Jinbei's one of them.
Jinbei's the best. I was going through someone's like review kind of reaction to post Paramount War, so like all his interactions with Luffy, and I was like, wow, Jinbei really is like the dad in One Piece. Like he was just there and he was like, hey, you're mad, hit me, and I was like, oh, stop, dude, that's
Jinbei.
he's amazing.
Best dad.
Literally.
Piccolo
My
dad.
bud. Jinbei's the best.
I love him.
So yeah, we're going through this, and we also introduced to. We hear a little bit more about Vegapunk. Then we also meet Monet,
Mhm.
the flying lady, which I have a little picture of her in the green on the top left.
Happy Harpy.
Yep. Which I love Monet too.
her kind of like little backstory is a little sad.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't really get too much of it, but
Isn't everyone's backstory sad?
it's One
Yeah.
Piece.
That's
It's
what
gotta
I've
be.
I've never seen a happy backstory. Let me tell you, when you get to next arc, you're gonna see a man dressed as a baby, and
Oof. His flashback hits so hard, but you'll get to that. And
I've got 3 figures.
She loves this guy.
I love him.
I can't get over the diaper.
I'll cosplay him one day, guys, and I'm dead serious.
cosplay a
Dead
giant man.
Drippy.
Yes.
Spez drippy. Whatever.
Oh my! No, we don't talk about that snot guy. We'll get to that, but we don't talk about him. Okay, and then we also. Sorry, it's gonna feel very like non-genuine because I don't remember the order of things, which I have to have the Wikipedia open.
Same.
But we do learn that the reason this is created, right, was because of battle between Akainu, who killed Ace. We can say that now, and Aokiji, who gets.
What does he go by now?
Kuzan.
Mm-hmm.
Who gets the coolest new look in this arc, and also, okay. Anyway, so they fight. That's why there's the fire and the ice. But who cares about that? Because all that matters is Aokiji's new outfit. He looks so cool. Also, he has a penguin friend, and he can ride his bike on the water, which you already knew that. But how cool is he?
I mean, the penguin friend was the best part.
Yeah,
He just has
100%.
like the laziest drip in One Piece. He doesn't even. He just wakes up and he's like, okay, let's go.
Yeah.
I love every time he's on screen because he's like the good. I know that Aokiji, we hate him and everything for obvious reasons, but he is like the bad side of justice, if that makes sense.
Oh, he's gonna be. I mean, like, I trust him.
Ao-
Whatever he's
Aoki-
doing.
No, not Aokiji.
Oh, Akainu.
Akainu.
Oh,
So
yeah.
he's like
the
the
fire guy.
he's the bad side of the justice because he wants to do the right thing, but he's not doing the right thing correctly.
Yeah.
Meanwhile,
he believes he's doing the right
Yeah,
thing, but
yeah.
he's going about it the wrong way.
exactly, and he's being an asshole. Oh, sorry, he's being a bad person
You can say
while
ass
he
on
does it.
here. It's okay.
Yeah.
We curse. It's fine. I mean, I don't blame Akainu.
Oh yeah, I mean,
But
he's not the
I
only one
hate
that.
Ace, so I don't
What?
care.
Oh,
And it's,
Tell him
it's
about
very,
your opinions, Maddie.
yeah, it's very common that all Maddie's friends knows how much she hates Ace. In fact, she will show she made a joke one time with the a knee Ace bandage, and she was like right where the hole is supposed to be.
How?
Because I think-
How? Oh my God, he is like the coolest Big Brother character.
Because, and I explained this to Kristan last show. And listen, I'm full Nakama. I don't care if other people love him. It's okay. That's fine with me. I have my own thing. I know it's nonsensical, but Luffy went through so much stuff. Everyone went to that island to save this man, and Akai is like, "Hey, what?" And then said something, right?
Yeah, he baited him, sure.
And so Ace is like, throw away everybody's efforts to go get murdered. And I know why he does it, but I was still
Does it
mad
to save
about
his little brother. That's an honorable thing to do.
Luffy would have been fine.
He's rubber
They were
man.
all on their way out.
he
They
totally.
were all just walking away.
Akainu would definitely have punched the same hole through
And-
Luffy.
And
Like
maybe-
Luffy still has a scar from
That's true, yeah.
Akainu.
That's
You're a monster.
I'm sorry. It's hard. I only dislike 3 characters of One Piece, and it's like Ace, that snot guy, and Kizaru. Oh God, I hate Kizaru.
Is the lightning
He
guy?
looks like
No,
Elvis.
the
Light guy.
the light guy. Yeah.
The light, yeah, I agree.
How can you hate him? He's another one that's just like
He creeps me out. There's something
He's just-
about him.
He's got that
He
weird
is.
face.
I wouldn't feel comfortable with him in a room.
he's
It's that
definitely
face.
but he's just such a smug
Yeah.
punch. He has a smug punchable face.
It's
So
gross.
Oh, it's so he is a yes man. So when he's on the clock, he's gonna do his morals and stuff are abated. He's
Yeah.
gonna do whatever his bosses tell him. If he's off the clock, then he's like, it's not worth my effort. And there's that clear line. I hate that. I hate that you as an individual, and there are people like that can just be like, whatever my morals or whatever, this is my job, I'm going to do it.
I'm
That's
low-key
why
pretty.
Garp. That's why Garp didn't get promoted.
I'm like that
On
at work
purpose.
too. I can't even lie. It's like, hey, I'm
different.
here. I'm gonna do my job, and that's exactly what he's doing too. Except the only difference is I'm not in charge of the Navy and I'm not killing people.
Yeah.
but you're right. I mean, that's why Garp was so old, but he was never at the same level as the admirals, because
Good man.
you know,
He's a good man, that Garp.
Yeah. When they were like, Garp, do something, he goes, I'm just gonna sit here next to my grandson and pout. That's the extent of his rebellious side.
Yeah.
That's such
Rebel
a
side.
memorable scene, because he's like next to Ace, and he's like, well, I can't abide by criminals, but I can sit here with family.
Yeah,
You know,
I love that.
I don't
I
know
love
the
that.
exact quote, but that was powerful.
So good.
Yeah, because it was such a sad moment when everyone's favorite character passed away. You know, people with hearts.
Megan, I hope that we can still be friends. You know?
I don't think so.
No.
Because wow.
Maybe Ace will come back as a Heartless.
Okay, Ace already came back in that little play we saw at One Piece Tokyo Tower.
Oh yeah,
so-
he did.
I didn't know that was a thing.
Oh, I've been to One Piece Tokyo Tower like 4 times.
That's
Die-hard
awesome.
fan. Especially for my man Frankie, my number 1 favorite character.
Is he really?
Yeah, I have so many figures in the basement of Frankie and Robin.
I don't understand this girl's logic. Frankie's great, but Ace is fire
I know.
fist
I
Ace.
feel bad. I wish it was different.
Okay.
I do.
We'll agree to disagree for the
But
sake of the show.
I love that other character that we can't talk about until Dressrosa.
Okay.
Mango, you'll have to come back.
I will, because I want
Okay.
to know which character this is now.
Okay, I'll tell you later. Kristan
Okay.
can't know.
Okay.
Yeah, back to the Ace thing. I do think it's hilarious because Maddie, you kept teasing me like, I hate what happens. I hate what happens. You're gonna know. And then we came on, and you're like, you know, right? I'm like, I have no idea. What is your opinion? What are you talking about?
What's your
I was
beef with this
Yeah, what's your
character?
beef? I don't understand.
Because I was so hurt because he went through so much effort, and I was just like, everyone. It's like that. It's like that clip from America's Next Top Model, where they're like, "We were all rooting for you. We all came here for you."
Smashed disappointment.
Yeah, Bonclay is stuck in that prison. At least he's alive. Anyways, so let's get away from that because I feel like I'll get like desperate.
We're just talking about Ace.
Let's talk about the other people hanging out. We got Smoker. We got Tashigi. We got Trafalgar Law, who's back, which I'm really excited because like he's such a Trafalgar Law is one of those characters that you're like, okay, he's just gonna hang out, right? Or you think, oh, he's gonna be part of the crew. And he just is always there from now until forever.
Right.
Law is just gonna be.
He's
there. I'm just letting you
Luffy's
know right
best
now.
friend, but he does not want to be Luffy's best friend.
No.
Which is great. It's amazing.
But he does this one thing in the, I don't know if the Viz release of the manga does this, but when the manga was coming out and I had to read like fan translations to be caught up, they, you know how they have like the honorifics in Japanese,
Yeah.
he calls Luffy Straw Hat Ya.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's YA. And I looked into what it means like the other day because I was just randomly thinking about it, and it's like he said ya is what you add to like someone's like you would like a farmer, you would add ya to the end of their title. So he calls him Straw Hat Ya as like he sees him as like the man,
Pumpkin.
the Straw Hat Man instead of just Straw Hat Luffy. And it's just one of those things that like you guys are right, he doesn't want to be Luffy's best friend, but it's like that reluctant like I hate you, but come on, let's go.
Yep.
Yeah, he's a tsundere the whole time, really.
Yes.
Whatever.
That's a perfect description.
And I like that we meet him with working alongside Caesar Clown, because that was an interesting dynamic.
Mm-hmm. Makes sense because you've got a scientist and a doctor,
Mm-hmm.
which is also cute, Kristan, because any Law Chopper moment, because they're doctors,
Yeah. Yeah, I like it.
it's so cute.
Best boy.
So a lot of other stuff happens, of course, fighting and everything else. But really, the most important thing is when everybody switches bodies. Let's be real.
Shambles.
Mm-hmm.
That is the best. I've got a couple of pictures saved. I didn't grab me from the manga, just from. Look at
I
this.
love it.
I
it.
love.
Oh god, that's a cursed image.
Oh wait, I meant to put it away.
A little.
And of course, Tashigi switching over as well. So funny.
Yeah, as a Grand Line review said, which I totally agree with him, the Chopper Frankie switch was maybe the best one because of the art and how well it was done in the faces. Like, it was amazing.
Oh, and
But-
Robin's reaction is what makes it for me. Because immediately she's like,
Don't do
"Quit
it. Yeah.
I mean, and I love when Robin gets to be angry.
She's
Because
like a serious mom. Like, if you don't
Yeah, it
stop
shows that
your
she's a part
crap
of the
right
crew.
there.
Who does she
like,
switch with?
she doesn't switch. She's just upset at the Frankie Chopper switch.
Oh.
Yeah. Mostly Frankie messing with the Chopper.
Chopper, yep.
Yeah. She's like, don't
Because-
talk like that in his body.
Frankie is destroying Chopper's image to her.
Which is great because, like, you know, and this is such a little thing, and it's probably me looking in too much to this, too, with Robin. But, like, you know, you have Smiley Robin for so long, but you can tell when she's really part of the crew when she gets to have her, like, really ugly face that all the people have when, like the ship falls or whatever, or the ugly face when she's mad at everybody else. Like, to me, I'm like, oh, look, you're comfortable now.
I like the little moments where she has like she says something to herself that nobody else really pays attention to, but you just see it off to the side. This is like in the future, like when they first arrive at Wano, they see Robin sees like a little baby dragon, and like her first like her face, she like blushes in her monologue. It's like, that's so cute. And I think that's like my favorite Robin moment, because she never is the loud up and
No.
like front and center straw hat, but she's just as weird as the rest of them, just in her own way.
And she kind of starts to hit her stride with the crew and kind of mend or meld well with the crew in this. And my favorite part in the anime for this is when they animate it, like Robin and them are like freezing when Robin, Zorobrooke and them get to the cold area. They're dressed for summer and they are freezing, and they see those centaur people across the way in fur coats, and they're like, that one's mine, that one's, and they've just got this evil glint in their eyes, and Robin's like, I love
So
it.
good. And yeah, she's always that silent one, just like, you know, during the time skip where she literally hung out with Luffy's dad in the Revolutionary Army and just didn't talk about it. Just came back.
I wonder if they did end up talking about what happens in their, you know, their 2-year gap, because we don't get to see that as the audience, but like we need to find out what's going on with Zoro, right? Like,
Thank you. That
Mhm.
time skip is killing me. Because I feel like there's some stuff that's going to come out from that they haven't told us, but I'm also worried we're going to run out of time. But I also trust
I think
Oda.
it was in an interview that Oda's not going to expose what happened, or I may have been reading something on a fan
He'll
site.
change his mind.
because there was so much interesting stuff, like Robin being at Tequila Wolf building a bridge, and then hanging out with the Revolutionary Army, like the things that she must have learned in that time, like what is locked up in her head.
I know. She would, though. I'm just like, would just go and casually hang out with the Revolutionary Army for 2 years.
It wouldn't surprise me if, like, for some reason, it didn't even click that dragon was Luffy's dad for her.
I still
I
can't
feel like
believe
it
that.
comes up, doesn't it? Or did I?
Yeah,
imagine
no,
that?
they reveal that at the
Yeah.
at Marineford. They like make a big announcement about it.
I bet when they all find like the big togetherness when that happens, it'll come up or something, and she'll be like, "Oh yeah, this happened." We'll be like, "Robin."
And you know,
Like,
Luffy's probably
no
just
one
gonna have
asked
like
me.
one finger up his nose, like, yeah.
He's like,
Mhm.
Oh, he's my dad. Okay.
Yeah, does he have any meat?
God, I can't wait till they meet. I so bad want the 3 of those boys together, which they have to be, because you have to have your Straw Hats and the Marines and the Revolutionary Army all get together somehow with one big thing, and I want them to hang out, and I want to see how they interact so bad.
I think the it would be like a crazy flex for Dragon to be exactly like Luffy, like goofy and like airheaded. But yeah,
What's gonna happen? Because
Every
he's
little
like
snips that
silent.
they've given of him, it's counter. It's very like
he's imposing and scary.
I bet
Right.
he's goofy as hell, and that's when Robin's gonna say something to be like, "Oh, you are just alike."
Yeah.
well, I mean, it's like Garp. He in some instances he is like imposing and then he does something silly or stupid.
Yeah.
You know, he's just like, oh,
he helped raise these two orphans, and then as soon as they leave, they're both gone. He goes and he takes another one and brings Kobe in and takes him under his wing too. So it's like he just can't stop being a dad. You know, he sees someone with like a good heart, and he's like, "Okay, you're coming with me, kid. welcome to my orphanage, Kobe."
Good manga dads are so rare.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, he's not.
I wouldn't say he's good
not-
because
not that
how
good. He
how
kinda
much time
abused
did he
them.
actually
I'd say he's
spend
better
with
than
Luffy and Ace? Like he did. He left him a lot. Like the bar
Yeah.
raised them.
I mean, you know,
Let's be real about this.
he's better than like Jing freaks.
He got them on
So,
the
I'll
weekends.
take
Let's
it.
just say that.
That's yeah. But he also, like I said, he also like abused them, like, you know, a lot. He used to beat the crap out of Luffy just because Luffy was a kid that didn't know any better. So
Just like wham.
exactly.
You
But
know,
he still cares for the kids, so I guess
you're not wrong.
Tough love.
a little child abuse isn't that bad.
Garp style.
So, Kristan, I want to ask your opinion about our marine guy right here. I always forget his name.
Oh,
The steak always sticking to his face.
Yeah, the
and
guy with the. Was that funny to you? Because I think that's hilarious.
I
I
thought
mean-
that was hilarious.
That was my favorite part. I love when she was like, "Did you have a burger for lunch?" And he's like, "Yeah. How'd you know it was so good?" And she's like, "It's still there." And then he starts eating it. And I was like, "Yeah, I like this guy just for this bit that keeps happening."
Oh, and he said, you know, I'm always sad I don't get more of him after this because, you know, it. But man, that's such a good bit. It's so dumb. Oda's so
It's-
good at giving
it's
you
so
little
dumb.
gifts.
He,
Like,
I actually don't remember much about him.
there's not much about. He's like,
Yeah,
he
that
fights
was the whole
with
bit, really.
Smoker. He and Smoker have a really cool
like,
fight. He does like die.
Oh, does he? Because he was
Yeah.
like a undercover agent, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
But yeah, he just gets food stuck or things stuck to his face.
Okay. I mean, I'm going through a rewatch of One Piece, so I'll get there eventually, and then I'll be like, oh, that's who we were talking about in like 5 months when I actually get to that part.
Tina's rewatched this like twice.
Yeah, I stopped at my third watch through somewhere in Dressrosa.
Oh God, I don't blame you. That's
But
what
I haven't watched through Cake and Wano, so
I haven't either.
I need to.
Oh, did you guys catch the not the most recent episode, the one before that in the Wano arc, where the Toby Roppo? I think it's like not the most recent one, the one before that. They like stepped up the animation just for that one episode to like
Really?
Okay.
movie quality, like good stuff. It was fantastic. Not
I
much
need to get
happens, but you're just like stunned. I haven't even watched all of Wano, but I watched that one episode for the hype, and it was
I'll have to,
really,
I'll have
really
to check
good.
it out then because I am behind. But
Hey,
I'll be.
you all mentioned that the chapters and episodes align for this, and that doesn't usually happen.
Mhm.
What is the ratio typically?
Usually it's a lot more episodes than it is chapters.
Because of the filler and stuff.
Yeah, because eventually, like, they'll every once in a while they'll be on it. Like in this instance, they were, but there's a point where like maybe every once in a while there'll be like a break in the manga, not for too long, because
So they have
Oda
to slow
never
the
stops.
pacing down.
Makes
So-
sense. Yeah.
Yeah, so
I have to throw in the Foxy Pirates here and there.
Yeah, or throw in like a filler for a movie. So like sometimes
Yeah.
for movies they'll have some filler lead up. And when I
Hmm.
say filler for One Piece, like I feel like I'm sure people would disagree with me, but I feel like the filler is different than you see in like other anime, like Naruto or something.
I agree because it's
It's-
Straw Hats on an adventure the entire time. So
Right.
sometimes the filler makes sense. Some of the filler that in the early One Piece, they take a moment to show you how Buggy and Alvida meet up, and I really appreciated that because it when it first happens, you're like, oh, what are they doing together? But in the anime, it's just like, okay, cool,
Yeah.
this makes sense. And then it's considered a filler episode, but I don't remember if it was in the manga. But it basically follows Toby and the Kobe and the other guy,
Yeah.
Helmeppo, and Garp shows up and he's like, I like you boys, come with me. And I don't think that was ever in the manga. It was just kind of implied that Garp took a liking to them as they like moved up the ranks. So sometimes it actually is beneficial to the overall story, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Well, and I
like,
know
those-
that
like,
when they
those
do
front
like
pages
Yeah.
of the manga, like when we had like little snippets of what the Straws were doing in Time Skip, they'll animate that.
Mhm.
So like, and a lot of the filler, I'm pretty sure, is Oda approved.
it is because that was on a
And that's
fan
a big
questionnaire.
deal.
Sometimes they will have devil fruits that Oda hasn't thought of, and then they will go to them and Oda and they'll say, hey, we have this idea, this is the devil fruit that we want to use, is this okay? And he'll be like, yes, or actually you don't do that because I have an ideal for something like that
Yeah.
later on. And so it's really
And-
interesting to see that he does sanction this, and these are real devil fruits in the world now.
Yeah, and all the movies are canon as well, which doesn't always make sense because you don't know how it fits.
How they
into
got
the
there.
I didn't know that.
timeline. But they're all written by Oda, so they're
That's really
like
cool.
confirmed, approved, and you just have to assume it doesn't really matter timeline wise.
It's a
Yeah.
random excursion on their way to
Yeah.
this island or that island.
That's really cool. I didn't know that. Now I'm gonna
But-
go binge all the movies as soon as I can.
They're so good. I'm waiting for when Chris and I can hang out for a weekend. As I already made a million plans for Chris and weekends. But one of them I just want to sit down with a bunch of snacks. I'll cook stuff from the Sanji cookbook.
Beautiful.
And then we'll watch the movies because they're legitimately really good.
Stampede was really good. I
Oh.
thought that was a lot of fun. That was like
I
I,
loved
think
Gold.
Old.
I need to watch Gold and Strong World and all that.
Oh, they're so good.
I'll get to
And
that.
there's a short one, not short one, but like a earlier one that's directed by Mamoru Hosoda.
Yeah, isn't that Strong World?
No, it's an earlier one because it's like,
Oh.
it's not the whole crew. It's like early, but
Was it?
Was it the one where they kind of meet, because they kind of did a movie version where they kind of meet Chopper and stuff?
mm-mm. Absolutely,
Darren,
absolutely.
the Matsuri, and the Secret Island, movie 6.
That is probably correct.
Oh, that's cool. I had no idea.
So, other things. I'm trying to think of what else we can talk about. We didn't talk about Baby 5 and what's his name? The dumb propeller man.
I'd forgotten about him. Thanks, Maddie, for
I hate
Bring it
Propeller
back.
Man. I love Baby 5.
right.
Because that's when we first get to meet your like the crew of like the next villain. Which I love, like not to keep referencing that guy whose video we watched, but he's like, it doesn't give you a lot of faith in Doflamingo when you meet these two. And they just get him crushed. But I love Baby 5 so much because she's just this girl in like a maid outfit with like could turn to weapons and stuff, but she's just always looking for someone just to show her any affection. I think
It's like
great.
she was made for Sanji.
Absolutely.
That'd be the worst duo, though.
Oh god.
They get so sick of each other immediately.
Oh, yes.
Well, and I think she'd murder one of the other women. I feel like if he looked at them,
Yeah.
that's why it couldn't work.
That's true.
And yeah. So I'm trying to think what else we should talk about at the end of this.
I feel like so much because this was so much setup. You know what I mean? So all of
It
it's
was
going-
primarily
going
a
to
setup,
payoff.
yeah.
And it was interesting seeing it all, but it was like smartly disguised exposition for literally the next 500 chapters, because this is where it all begins.
So I guess a good question. I'll direct it to Kristan. I know we've been dominating this because we get distracted by other One Piece things. That's the downside. So this is a shorter arc, but still a lot happens, which is every arc. I feel like I just talked to him like a lot happens. How do you feel? But I do want to know, like, after finishing this, kind of like, how do you feel? What are your questions now, currently? What are your questions? What's your, like, What are your predictions? How are you with this?
I can't predict anything. I'm not good at that. Especially because there's a billion more chapters, right? But although we're kind of more than halfway there now, right?
Oh, we're over halfway, yeah.
Yeah, okay, that's something.
Of what is out.
That's
We're
something.
3/4.
Yeah, I like that. Now I'm just wondering, because you're all like, this is tons of setup. Well, I don't really know that yet, right?
Yeah.
So I'm just wondering what's going to happen, especially for the next 100 chapters. That's it. I got nothing, though.
What would you like to see happen? Like, I'm not saying like plot specific, but like, do you have like any expectations or something that you're like, oh, I hope XYZ happens. I don't know how they're going to get there, but I would love to see it. There's
a lot that I think I want to happen that I know doesn't happen yet. Because every time Maddie's mentioned, I'm like, yeah, I want to see that too. And she's like, it hasn't happened yet. I'm like, oh. So there's a lot of that.
The worst. And she doesn't like Ace.
I'm sorry.
So, we're not going to see Ace, that's for sure.
Actually.
Oh, flashbacks?
You might.
Just some flashbacks?
I don't know. You have to read and find out.
There's technically somebody with an ability who can like touch pictures and like
oh god
have them show up.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
And we were at the live show at Tokyo Tower that introduced her before the movie came out. Mm-hmm. So we knew like 6 months in advance, which was cool. But,
who are you talking about?
She was in Gold.
Oh,
she's
that's what I know.
like a pop star thing.
That's what I know.
She's hanging out with Buggy.
Yeah, I was just wondering why they had all this tie-in with Green, like the band. I was like, why is this? And apparently it was
for the movie.
The movie.
That's really cool.
So I will say that Doflamingo, who shows up at the end of this, is our big bad for the next arc.
The man definitely.
Very tall man with the you can't tell from the manga, but he has a very large pink boa jacket.
Yeah. And he's so easy to hate. You'll love to hate him.
Yeah, I love to hate him.
Yeah.
And you were gonna fall. See, I feel like a lot of this happens in here, but it's not things that you want to like sit down and like break down. Like in some other arcs, you have like shorter backstory stuff, and we're like, okay, let's talk about Robin's backstory for like 15 to 20 minutes and dissect it, or or Frankie's, or whoever, or Brooks, because you could talk about Brooks and theorize forever. Mm-hmm. I'm still theorizing how his power is going to work because I think it's not done growing, which I love about One Piece.
I'm still sad about his backstory.
Oh,
I'm sad about everyone's backstory, but
I think we can both agree that we want to see Laboon and Brooke back together.
Oh my gosh. How long do we have to... I mean, I'm sad. I'm sad I know it doesn't happen yet.
I hope that Laboon, like, instantly recognizes him and doesn't need to be, like, reintroduced to who he is. Because he obviously doesn't look the same. But I hope that it just, like, clicks and it's, like a really sweet moment. And then both Luffy and Brooke are, like, hugging Laboon.
I could cry thinking about
it.
Like the boat, like the going merry, or sorry, like the boat comes in and like you just hear like
music playing.
Brooke playing, being sake. Good sake. He's playing it, and then just like you hear a little bit go.
And they could easily tie that into like a gag because they jump off the ship to give him a hug. And they don't realize that Laboon is wet, so they slide off and fall into the ocean like they always do. Because, the ones that shouldn't touch the ocean are the ones that are always for some reason jumping off the ship.
I forget all the time, too.
Until you see it happen, you're like, oh, that's right.
Oh, yeah, you guys can't be in the water. Which is why, Fishman Island was hilarious. You're like, wait a second. This feels like a bad idea. A wicked bad, especially when there's a fishman that like got devil fruit. I was like, you live underwater.
Yeah, that doesn't sound like a good idea.
But I mean, I guess he wouldn't drown.
But he would.
Oh yeah.
Just sink.
He would just lay there, I guess, the entire time.
That's interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless for some reason, like. The fact that he has a devil fruit makes it so like his lungs don't. We're thinking too much about this at this point.
Don't think about it. I mean, Enel's still on the moon, so.
True.
When is Enel gonna get off the moon? It's gotta mean something. Oda doesn't just do things. I heard
I'm
somebody be like, "No, it's just on the moon. It's no big deal." And I was like, "No."
There are literally
doesn't
like
just
hieroglyphs with
do
people
things.
in spaceships. Something's going on there.
I saw that this is one One Piece theory video that was going around like maybe like 2-3 years ago about the end game of One Piece is going to be the moon, and I genuinely couldn't tell if it was satire or if this person like
Was a legit
genuinely
theory.
yeah, and I was like, I don't think I can finish this because I don't know if you're being genuine or not. So I'll come back to this.
I believe
I'll come
it.
back to this in 5 years.
Tina knows, like, we've spent hours in car rides, like cons or whatever, just in depth, and we're like, but then we learned, remember, and Fishman Island about the weapon, and then this must be this, and then the D's. What's the D? Just like losing it for hours and talking theory and like.
And there's so much in there. Like, so they did. So they used Punk Hazard as a good, Oda used it as a good, like, here's a bunch of stuff you don't know that you're going to need until way later, because you're going to see, you have the family appearing, Don Flamingo's family. So Monet was one. She was kind of a sleeper agent to keep an eye on Caesar and what he was doing, and also make sure that, he was shipping off what he was supposed to ship off for him. You see Mononosuke, which is Momo. You see him,
Very
but
important.
he has a very
I
important
feel bad.
role
We didn't talk about Momo, but just
later on.
Was I frozen?
I never know.
You both just kind of glitched.
Was it by the way?
Yeah, you both just kind of like
We're just
the
like-
Windows loading screen.
I couldn't tell it was me or you, and I was like, oh god.
It's hard to tell because like it shows up as everyone else. but
Yeah,
you know
it does.
It's you somehow.
Oh god. That was worse. That was awful. It's our area of Kentucky, I guess. Anyways.
But yeah, we didn't talk about Momo. Sorry,
He's
kids
just a
with
perv.
crack candy.
You
That's
just don't
his
matter.
He's a
I mean,
little
he
kid
does.
who can turn into
Well,
a
Momo
dragon.
does. But the other kids don't.
He's a pervert who wants to like.
He's really
hang
into
out in
boobs.
groups.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Mocha's story was very sad.
Mocha's.
Oh, so
God.
sad.
She craves that candy, man.
So those kids.
Feed it to her.
Oh my god. It was so rough. It's so rough.
I mean, it's just a start of a new generation of One Piece characters. Backstory, guys.
You go through each kid's backstory. It's okay. This is too much. That's too much even for Oda. I would not want that.
Yeah, at least they're okay now.
Are
Do we
they?
know what happens to them?
Don't they
get
get
taken by
returned
the
home?
Marines? Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think they all went home.
They all went home. They're just very big children. They're gonna have to make
Yeah.
new houses.
Good point.
But I love that they were all trying to make giants, and you find out who does that later. But like, this is how it is. They're always like, there's somebody, and then later you're like, oh, okay, now we're gonna tell you 100 chapters later, who was like hiring Caesar.
And that's the craziest part because recently, all of a sudden, something clicked in the manga, and I was like, "Oh my god, I actually like Skypiea now." Because for the longest time, I thought Skypiea was like the longest canon filler arc, but now it's important, and I love it. And this is like the magic of Oda. That's like, hey, here's a little bit of information. Try not to forget. And then 6 years later, I'm watching a YouTuber, and he goes, "Remember when this happened? It was important." I'm like, "Oh my god, he's right."
I still dislike Skypiea. I know it has its reasons. I know it gives some things that you find out, like, even in future chapters to come, Kristan. But I still dislike Skypiea so
I like this
much.
guy. That guy's the best.
Happa,
Yeah, I love him so much.
yo, Chippa.
You're like, you can't talk with your mouth closed, or you can't cross your arms unless you actually like.
Can cross your arms.
That is genius writing, okay? And I stand by that. That's genius. No one can do it like Oda.
Does he even show up in this arc?
No.
No,
Okay.
But she was talking about Skypea and how she
Yeah.
hated it, and I was like, I like that guy.
Did you like Skypea, Kristan?
I didn't have a problem with it.
Oh, okay.
I don't remember tons of it, but
See, that's because you have good taste and you like Ace.
Oh my gosh.
Oh.
I can never let this go. This is it.
That's okay. That's okay. That's fine. I get that reaction a lot as someone who even went to Nakamacon in Florida, and they were like, "What? Why? Why?"
Are you even Nakama at that point?
Oh, I'm Nakama. I'm in.
We'll vote you off the island.
Are you saying she's a Marine?
Do you
Sounds
steal
like
my
it.
figures and cosplays?
Well, I'm sure that Akainu also has plenty of Frankie figures on his shelf. He's
Uh,
still a bad person.
Rude. How dare you? One Piece is measured in our generations. Grandpa, tell me what the story was like back in your day.
Oh God.
Yeah.
I had to tell your grandkids like, yeah, at your age, I didn't know that the One Piece was actually like a bowl of cereal.
Gosh, at least he confirmed it's not friendship. That's
Thank God.
That would be, yeah. I need it to be a tangible physical item, not an
Yeah.
ideal.
I don't know. Well, Kristan, you made it through another one. How do you feel? How do you feel about
did
your journey? You did it.
I did it. I feel
You-
good.
You don't have too many arcs left. They're just long.
Yeah, I was wondering about that because I didn't see many listed. I'm like, oh no, how do we do this?
All right,
think,
let me look through the arcs again.
I think Just Rose is going to be the longest one, and if you split it in half, it becomes so much more digestible.
We'll have to.
But I'm
So,
still like surprised that you guys didn't finish it in a month like you were planning on.
Man, we were
hilarious
really
now, I
trying.
swear.
I'm so glad we didn't because we got pretty far.
On
But,
day
like-
one, Kristan was like, one chapter done. I'll revisit this tomorrow.
I had
Did
no
you
idea. It was
open
like,
up the app and you're like, okay, how many chapters is this? I'm still scrolling here. 1019.
I think what got in my head, right, is like we flew through like Chainsaw Man
Oh yeah.
because
That's so
we
easy to
can.
do.
This is not the same, and I had no idea. I'm
Well,
like, this
it's like-
takes longer to read, a lot
I
longer.
forgot too, because like I watched it up until I got current towards the end of Dressrosa,
Mhm.
and then I read it weekly, or I'd read like I'd fall behind or something, and I'd read 6 months worth an afternoon or something. But I never read the beginning. In my mind, I was like, it'll be fine, and I was like, these are thick.
Yeah,
These
those
are
are
thick boys. There's no
Mm.
way.
Oda packs a lot of content into what he does, and you don't even realize just how much you're absorbing until you look back and you're like, wow, so much happened. But the next arc, Just Rosa, is 102 chapters. That's the longest arc.
I'll split it up for us, Kristan.
Yeah, you'll have to tell me where to stop, and
Yeah, I'll have
starts
to
at
check.
700. I know that.
I think Elliot's recommendation of starting after the Coliseum is over is best.
Yeah, because that's a pretty good halfway point, and then everything after the Coliseum, I feel like it's a lot of falling action and shit hitting the fan. So that sounds like a great plan. And then after that, you get the Zoe arc, which is
get a
ridiculously
break.
short. So
Yeah,
you'll
that's-
enjoy that.
For short.
Yeah, it's just 22 chapters.
Oh, that's nice.
I
Yeah, you
wanted
could get
more
that
out of
done.
that arc.
I feel like
Yeah.
we're not done there though.
I think so too. There's usually, it feels so short. It feels like we only kind of like tipped our toe into it and then skipped off to like
Yeah.
whole cake. And
Yeah, you'll
but
love
I think
it's all animal
Wano
people.
and that
Mhm.
has some
There's
type
big
of
cat
connection.
man.
Oh,
Big
Oh, wow.
cat.
that's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, like literally the next 400 something chapters, they're all fun. They're good good things. You just have to Just Rosa kind of in the middle. That's when you kind of have to push through it because it is so long, but after that it's totally worth it in my opinion.
And there's some stuff that's gonna wreck you. I could talk about just those bits for a long time. Man, ugh, some dad feels. That gets me, and that wrecked me. Cute animal people. I'm surprised Tina would like that. That was sarcasm. Elliot,
It wasn't sarcasm.
maybe message me. I don't know which sword boy you're talking about.
I think he means Little Soldier Man.
That's what I was thinking because I love him.
And
I want
also,
one of those little figures where Rebecca is dressed up as him.
that's what I was thinking, Rebecca.
Yeah.
Rebecca.
All these people you'll get to know and love, and then they'll break your heart, and then you're gonna meet a man in a diaper, and you're gonna realize that it's actually so hype.
I love him, and we get one of the best Usopp moments ever.
I will never
Ever.
I've never hated Usopp. He was just never my favorite. He still isn't, but I love him.
Oh, Elliot, I'm so sorry. Cavendish. Elliot cosplays Cavendish.
I can't say that name.
Oh, and what's his Bartolomeo?
Yes, Barto.
Love-
That's
I
on my
love that man.
cosplay list.
Luffy's fan club. Oh man,
I love him
it's
so much.
so
Okay,
great.
we're spoiling so much for
Sorry.
Kristan, but when these
I will
names pop
remember
up,
this. It's fine.
when these weird names pop up, you're gonna be like, "Oh, that's how you pronounce it." You
Yeah,
know?
that's true.
That one, when I separate it, I'll actually take time to like write down talking points because there'll be a lot more to talk about,
Mhm.
and I'll want to make sure we hit the highlights of it, and not just do this thing where I'm like, I'll be fine, and then I get in here, I'm like, what happened?
Yeah.
And you're not done with Caesar just yet either.
You will not be done with Caesar for like. We're still not done with Caesar.
Cavendish, that's his name.
He's very like Utena / Rose of Versailles, if that helps you. But yeah, I'm so proud of you for sticking to it this long. Now you're in
600
too far.
chapters.
Now you're in.
That's literally it.
Completely.
Sometimes, like, One Piece can go for another 500, 600 chapters, but I feel like I put in this much time. I should just, even if it starts to suck, I'll probably still stick with it.
Keep reading, or you do what my
Never
sister or
stop.
what my wife did and like hot dropped it because a character left the crew. I can't say, and she was just like, "No, it's dead to me now." Like, just cold turkey. No,
I could never.
even though we have like,
All these other characters too.
well, our
All the
house is
figures.
like One Piece.
They
Like,
make
literally,
top figures.
It's just all
POP.
One Piece.
I'll never give up on this, but that's because I think, like, what makes this so special is that Oda is such an amazing writer and world builder, and he has not failed me. And I can't say
What
that for
about
a lot of
Ace?
things. Even okay, listen. Why would you bring that up?
I felt that. Thank you.
Listen,
Thank you. Now I'm not the only jerk here.
Listen, that
Nice to meet you.
But I recognize that whole situation was very necessary as a catalyst for what came after and for the character growth. Absolutely. And plus, we get a very, very cool character that shows up because of that. So I'm okay with it.
I love how you're trying to keep a straight face.
Because you're trying to get me in trouble, Tina. I'm trying to explain.
She gets canceled for not liking Ace.
But, like, I know I can trust him. Although it would suck if the ending was bad. It would ruin everything for me.
Well, one
I
thing
don't
that
think it will.
he's straight up said in multiple interviews. People are like, "How do you keep yourself writing after so long? Like, don't you get tired?" He goes, "It's all going to be worth it when I get to write my ending," because he knows he has that much trust in himself, and I love that about him. Like, that's my boy, like Oda.
No
The
one
man.
else can do it.
Literally.
So good. Well, I know we hit 9, but if you guys have any manga or anything you're reading you want to recommend before we end it, we can shout it out or something.
Let me pull up what I've read recently. I don't remember anything I read until I see it on the list. Oh,
I don't either.
I discovered, I don't know if you guys are a fan of Inio Asano or Shizuo Oshimi, Goodnight Pumpun and Flowers of Evil,
Yeah.
Happiness, all that stuff. I discovered this manga through just scrolling through translators' websites because this hasn't been published over here yet. So in Japanese, it's called Shonen no Abyss, but it's Boys Abyss, and it is so dreary and sad, and like there are 1.5 million trigger warnings out there for this because this is just like a town of people that are just so depressed. It's a small town kind of story, but at the same time, it is like one of the most emotionally like gut wrenching series that I've ever read. So again, it hasn't been localized yet, but it's officially at like 60 chapters, so I wouldn't be surprised if it starts coming sometime soon. And if you just look up like what the art looks like the artist is fantastic.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited for like I really do hope it gets like a localization because I don't even buy manga anymore, and I would definitely pick up like on release day. It's a fantastic story.
We will keep an eye out for it. What about you, Tina?
I feel like I'm just repeating myself because I was just on for Chainsaw Man, but I've been collecting Toilet Bound, Hanako-chan, which
Kun.
Kun, is it Kun or is it? Well, she calls Chan, but I really, really love that series. So that is on my pre-order. So I am still buying manga, getting back into it, and then I'm going back and reading Seraph of the End. Because I missed it when it came out, but I watched the anime and I really, really enjoyed it. So I'm going back through and reading that. And then there was one other one that I was going back through and reading. And of course, I'm looking through my read list and it's not popping up. That's okay.
That always happens.
Yeah, if it's not on Goodreads, which thank God Kristan finally, after years, I listened to her.
You need it.
That's the only way I know.
You don't use Mao or anything like that?
I've never heard of that.
My anime list. So my anime list is, so I don't, when I needed an app, Mao was down. So I use AnyList.co. And that's just how I remember what chapters I'm on. Because otherwise I would never remember.
Oh, see, that's smart. Because I always get caught up in a thing. And then I don't read it for 2 years. Because I'm morose.
Same.
Or you read something and then you completely forget about it and you're like, oh, this sounds interesting a couple years later. And you start reading it and you're like, wait a minute. I know this. I've read this before. I've done this.
I know that you've been on vacation and then you had to read all this today when you got back.
That's right.
You read it all in one go?
I read a few chapters yesterday, but most of it today.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. It wasn't a whip, oh, boy. It was an all day.
46 One-Piece chapters is a solid amount of work.
Yeah,
Maddie could do that in an hour, but I take a day at least.
Well, it's just because, like I said, Oda just packs so much into them, and there's so much to remember.
I mean, you got to find Panda Man and...
Yeah. There were plenty of pages where I'd flip to the next page, and they'd be like, wait, what was that? And I'd have to go back. I do it all the time in this.
I still do it. Wano, when it got to a certain point, a year into Wano, I was like, okay, hold on, I need to go back and I need to read a summary to remind me of all these important plot points because there's just he always has 50 gears moving at the same time.
It's so hard to follow. I mean,
he's literally playing 5e chess with manga.
Yeah. Yeah, if you have any special manga recommendations, I mean, we're always gonna recommend our.
Yeah, I mean, I think everybody knows you should be reading Azadora because it's so good. So do that. I'm going back into Cross Game because I'm almost done. It's really great. It's the classic. You don't like sports, but you like sports manga.
Yeah,
that's for you, like me. And of course, I'm excited about the next Whisper Me a Love Song because this is some cute Yuri nonsense, and I love it.
That's on my to-read list.
Oh, it's so good.
Who publishes that?
Who is it? Kodansha.
Okay.
Which is another great Yuri that I adore, of course. A tropical fish yearns for snow. It's so good. It's so good. It's just so cute. These are just cutesy little cute. You want some cute stuff, which I love.
I've been reading Blue Flag on the Jump app, and it's another thing that's
good.
I'm 7 chapters in, but I feel like I've already figured out what one of the big reveals is going to be.
You probably have.
And yeah. I love him as a human. He's just such a nice person. So. Mm-hmm. I really just want him to be happy.
Yeah, I need to get back into that. I read half of it. It was so good.
Just put it on the show and then we'll read it.
That's probably true. Which, speaking of, we got to finish Rose of Versailles at some point.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe.
My final volume hasn't come in, so.
Yeah. Man, where'd you get it from?
Amazon, because I was trying to make sure it got in time for the show, and then it didn't.
Boo.
Oh. We'll have to watch the live-action movie together.
Yeah.
Apparently there is one, so.
Let's do it.
All right. Well, thank you all for hanging out. Our wonderful guests at a good time. Hopefully, Mango will still talk to me after this. And thank everybody for being in the chat. We haven't decided our next month's schedule yet, but once we do, we'll post about it or tell you guys. But as usual, the first show of the month will always be our reads and hauls. And currently, the last show will be One Piece until we are done with One Piece, and then we will transition to another long-running series or whatever. We don't know.
Yeah, and pick up some of this great manga on InStockTrades.com. Get your great prices.
So have a good night, everybody.
Bye, guys.
Bye.